Hi everyone, and welcome to Arc Laramar's YouTube channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed and to everyone who is watching. Now let's get to it. Last week we focused on Silicon Valley's bank collapse and whether or not that was going to affect a larger scale of banks. Thank goodness it hasn't, but that doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet, because as you recall, there was one card that was a clarifier card that was a moon card, and there was an octopus coming out from underneath the cement, and the female figure that was in the moon card was facing the moon and not watching her back. So there's a lot of things that are still going to be revealed from this bank debacle, but one thing we know for sure is that the feds were not going to bail out these big banks. And it's interesting because when these things happened, I always ask myself who benefits from a crisis, and it's these larger banks that are now benefiting from the collapse of these boutique banks. And by boutiques, I mean that they were catering to a very specific clientele. And it's interesting how they all have this money, right? Billions of dollars to bail out some of these boutique banks. So the bigger, larger banks are benefiting from this because they're buying them cheap, right? They're buying them cheap. So very interesting. Keep an eye out for that. I think it's important. One of the things I want to do with this YouTube channel is to not only teach people how to read tarot, but also teach you a little bit about the ethics and understanding of tarot. It takes a lot of courage to do a reading because there's an enormous amount of expectation placed upon the reader to predict precisely what will happen. That kind of reading is a farce. Those kinds of specific details don't really come from the cards. They come from our psychic abilities, which we all have. The cards are just a modality, and how we interpret the cards is what gives us information. So it's really important for people to understand that. Also, the person doing the reading has a lot of influence on how the reading is done and what information is imparted. One of the reasons why I say it takes guts to do a reading is because you can't just do a reading and say, oh, it didn't come true last week or this week coming up. If you rely on predictions or fortune telling or forecast that way, you probably are not going to be a really good one, because time, first of all, is challenging. And second of all, when you're doing a reading, it's always somebody's different perspective. Somebody can read one card, they could read, what card is this? They could read the Seven of Cups differently than I can read the Seven of Cups. Someone can say, oh, there's a nesting opportunity, and somebody else can say, oh, there's a wasted energy here. So again, it depends on the reader. What's important is that the overall gist of the reading be imparted based on your interpretation of the cards. Again, you can use your psychic abilities. Obviously, every celestial modality can open up your psychic abilities. But when we're doing tarot, it's really important to read the images and their relationship to each other. So let's begin. So in terms of the banking and the finances, obviously it's still playing out. We shall see. I still think it was a blessing in disguise, as I mentioned in the video last week, because that's the card that came out, that situation was a blessing in disguise because it allows us to see some other things that could have caused a major collapse. It doesn't mean we're out of the woods. It just means that for now, we're okay. But the market's finicky, so we shall see. And immediately we saw how the feds smacked down these boutique banks, and they were very clear they were not going to bail them out. So who's bailing them out? Larger banking institutions. Very interesting. We'll see how that plays out. All right, so the collective question or the issue that I'm curious about, and of course, I kind of screwed up the comment section in the community page, but I fixed it a little too late. So again, write your comments. Let me know what you want me to ask questions on that has to do with a global issue. This means politics, humanitarian issues, environmental issues, even spiritual issues, religious issues that you want me to look into, a specific government, a specific country, etc. Something more global. I'm not doing personal readings right now, but I do anticipate myself at some point doing a live reading where I would do like a 1-card pull for personal readings, okay? So keep that in mind and subscribe, because you never know when that one's going to happen. So one thing that I'm very curious about is whether or not Putin's going to actually be arrested. As you may know, there is a warrant for his arrest for humanitarian crimes. And I just want to know, will he be arrested based on that warrant? So will Putin be arrested based on the warrant that was issued for his arrest? See. I thought that was a good question to maybe ask because it's a hot topic. Certainly we're seeing more of Putin in the media. He's certainly not showing that he's afraid of any warrant. He's appearing with Xi Jinping. He's traveling to, I think it was Mariupol and Crimea, if I'm not sure. Obviously, he's traveling in countries where he knows he's not going to be extradited and turned over to The Hague. But, yeah, we'll see what the cards have to say. First card up is Unlocking Secrets. So this is a past placement. So there's some secret communication, secret dealings that were unlocked that has given us the opportunity, or given The Hague the opportunity to issue an arrest warrant. So there are things that we don't know. We only know that it's for human rights crimes, specifically related to children. Also, Putin's not the only one with an arrest warrant. There is a woman whose name escapes me who's been issued an arrest warrant as well for her arrest. But yeah, this is secret dealings, secret conversations that were finally unlocked and gave The Hague the opportunity to issue the arrest warrant. So it's really interesting. Right now, the question is, again, just for austerity purposes, will he be arrested? Seems like things are being tempered right now. This is the present moment. Whenever we see the Temperance card, it is about harmony, but it's also a wait-and-see game. So it's almost like we have to give it up to the gods to deliver. There's still alchemy happening. There's still a lot of, let's see if I can point it so I'm not covering or blocking this. But there's still, when you see this water being poured into another basin, this is an alchemical process. So there's alchemy happening with regards to Putin and this issue of the arrest warrant. It's things are being tempered right now. I think it was really heated in the past placement, like, oh my God, there's no arrest warrant for Putin. Oh, and these secrets are coming out, yada, yada, yada. And now the energy is very tempered. It's very paced. For some reason, the powers that be felt that they needed to scale back a little bit and do a little bit more magic, or magic is not the word, but they are alchemizing or transforming certain information that they've received. They want to make sure that this is done peacefully and in the least possible chaotic scenario for the arrest warrant. And I said there were two, is Putin, there was a woman, there might be a third person involved here. I'm not sure, I have to look at the news, but I'm not sure if there were 3 arrest warrants or just 2, but there's a third person involved with all of that. And right now, the International Tribunal is tempering its pace. It's slowing down. It's alchemizing or reviewing something that they needed to do before moving forward. And the last card is recognition. This is really interesting. So the question is, will he be arrested? There's a recognition, certainly in the international community, that deeds were done. Selfish deeds were done. This is the 6 of Swords. Selfish deeds were done. There will be a recognition that this arrest is going to take place or has to take place. Actually, this is not showing me that it's going to take place, but that it has to take place. We'll pull a clarifier on that. It's really important when you're doing readings to, again, not second guess yourself. My inclination is that Putin's not worried about it. He's trying to alchemize a situation for his own benefit. But he doesn't seem worried about it. And as far as the tribunal is concerned, they're crossing their T's and dotting their I's. I don't know if they missed something or they underestimated something, but certainly Putin's reaction in the media is he doesn't care. So, ooh, sorry about all the movement. So let's see what the clarifier cards will show us, and I'm using the Tarot of Mystical Moments to give us a clarifier. I want to know what the recognition is. Clarifier on that recognition card, please. Clarifier on that recognition card. Page of Pentacles. Interesting. So I asked for the clarifier on what this recognition card is all about. Let me move this over so you could see maybe a little bit. And this lighting is, there we go. So the page of Pentacles came out. So for me, there's a money trail issue that they had to slow down, alchemize, allow some other information, secret information, to be unraveled. And there's a recognition now of where their money flow was coming from. The Page of Pentacles. This is a very young energy. So this is about who received the funds. Page is also indication here of children, right? Specifically, looks like little girls. But, who received the monies and the funds for this trafficking situation that was going on with the children? What was the money situation going on? So that's what this recognition is about. There will be a recognition of that money flow in that situation that really makes all of this it's already bad enough that children were being trafficked and moved from one country to another, but that there was a money exchange of some sort involved in this. And obviously, if this card came out, it's because it's going to be revealed. It's going to be revealed. It might stay a secret for a while until all of this is spread out and alchemized, but there will be recognition for all of this hard work and the secrets and the money. The money is key here. The money is key here when it comes to justice for these children. Justice for these children. Oof, that was a little bit of a heavy reading. So to answer your question, will he be arrested? Or my question, it does not appear that he will. There's some sort of secret communication. He's going to try to finagle something and alchemize something, but there will be a recognition of the crime, But it doesn't seem like he's going to be arrested with that warrant. If he is arrested, it's based on additional communication and additional work that The Hague had to do, not based on the information up to this point, but on additional information that had to be communicated and revamped and refined in order to get to this paper trail of money. Really interesting. That was not an easy read, guys. There was heavy energy that I just experienced reading that, especially when it came to talking about the kids. So yeah, let's hope that justice is done for those kids. All right, let's do a quick pull for the forecast for the week and see what information wants to be shared with us. It's the forecast for the week of March 20th, please. Guidance for us would be also appreciated. As I mentioned before, if I didn't, doing readings takes guts and it takes cojones. But you always want to just, keep it light, keep it real, but keep it light and honest to who you are. And you should be fine when you're doing readings. Nope, that was 2 cards. We just want the... Interesting. There would be some sort of an awakening happening collectively for the group, meaning the group, the world. There is information coming forward about past actions, past passionate actions that are coming forward, and will lend some sort of new perspective on things. This is also the card that's asking us to let go of the past and to hang on to creative pursuits that are inspired by more like your family dynamics, etc. So this week is a good week to let go of the past, forgive the past, and move forward creatively, and almost like that temperance card, transmute past experiences into something new. But collectively, we are going to be learning some information having to do with past actions. And it almost feels like the heavens just drops this information onto us. So now for one more card, collective, for the reading for the forecast for the week ahead, March 20th. That feels right. When I'm shuffling, I do what feels right at the time. And so that's something that, I encourage people to do. It's okay to have a routine, but also do what feels right for you. Anyway, this is really interesting because we've got 2 Wands cards. So this week is going to be action-packed week. We are going to be seeing some things, hearing some things having to do with the past actions. There almost feels like someone's trying to do a performance piece for us, but this fire energy, it's all risky for this person wanting to do a performance piece. It gave me the feeling of a getaway. Will this person get away? I mean, it looks like they may, right? It looks like they may. But again, this fire energy seems very risky. Very, very risky. One thing we know about the Knight of Wands is that they are preparing to move forward with as much skill sets as they have. So collectively, we're going to get information from the past, possibly related to some family dynamic, a risky escape or an attempt to escape or something, getting away with something coming up here with skill sets, people being very smart with their information, almost like a distraction. I feel there's going to be a distraction happening related to the past. As far as what guidance we're being asked to take on for this following week, transform your past into something creative. So both wands always have to do with creative suits or creative pursuits. So do something creative this week in order to stay balanced and grounded, because this doesn't feel grounded, but then again, you can transmute the situation and make it quite entertaining. Indeed, quite entertaining. So overall, this week coming up is going to be an entertaining week. We're going to see the performance pieces happening, having to do with past actions or past behavior. Sometimes can be a little bit traumatic as well. So, but we're going to see a lot of performances being played out on the global platform. The global platform. We stay creative, we stay intuitive, we stay transformative, and we watch and observe the awakening that's happening from all of this fire energy that's coming up this week. There's a lot of action coming up this week on the global scale. A lot of fiery engagements. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. And please make sure to hit the notification bell, because then you'll be notified when a video is uploaded. All right, until next week. And stick around, because you never know when I'm going to do a live reading where I will welcome personal questions. All right, enjoy the week and stay safe. Bye.